All right, we're back out on the road. So 2 days ago, around this time, I jumped in my truck and I drove, I don't know, probably like 15 miles, 15, 20 miles to go to the gym with a buddy. Well, because of the time of the day, it took me at least 15 to 20 minutes just to get out of my neighborhood. I think the traffic will be just as bad today, so you'll be able to see that. So today I decided if I'm going to spend 20 minutes getting out of my neighborhood, and it's an absolute pain to drive my truck, then I'm going to ride my board. Then I decided if I'm going to ride my board, might as well take you all with me. So let's go on this little adventure. I got a couple updates for some boards and stuff, but really I'm just taking you all along with me on this ride. I'm on the Onsra Black Carve version 2, still have the Nebula on it, still have 45T pulleys, still have 105 cloud wheels. I have no idea how far this is going to be. I have the charger in my backpack, so while I'm at the gym I can throw the board on the charger. Hopefully I make it back. We'll see. I haven't tried distance with the 45Ts, and I have no idea how far this is, so it wouldn't matter anyway. So let's start. Let's go. One thing I'm also doing today, I have these Shockwave, Aftershock with a Z headphone. I bought these on Amazon. They're like 70 or 80 bucks. I bought them for running, but they're bone conductive, so they don't actually go in your ear. They go right in front of your ears. It leaves your ear open so you can still hear everything. I'm going to try the hat on the board because I really don't like plugging my ears, especially when I'm on the road with the boards. So gonna try the out today too. I'll let you know how they go. Figured I'd wait until this part of the course to update you guys. So let's talk about the Cali. I ordered it at the end of April. I reached out a couple days ago, and it is now the end of August, and I still don't have the board. He said that he's hoping to ship them Monday or Wednesday of next week. There's an issue with the motors. I don't know what the fix is, so I'm a little worried about it. Like, if you got a bad batch of motor, did you just order more? Or are you like taking the cans to the grinder to knock off a millimeter? You know what I mean? So I'm a little worried about that, but I'm excited about the board. I'm gonna try to get the fatty tires on it since I'm getting the bigger battery. And the new wheels that he's running, supposedly you can run skinny and the fatties on it. So I'm super excited about that. Man, I hope I get it soon because I live in Colorado and we're gonna start getting some cold days and some snow somewhere in Colorado, not here in Colorado Springs, but up in the mountains. They already got the first snow of the year. So spoiler alert, I was going to do a whole video on taking the Cali to the top of Pikes Peak, but I'm not gonna be able to do that this year. I thought I had plenty of time when I ordered it in spring, but I mean, it's already dropping into the 30 and 40 at the top of Pikes Peak, and by the time I get it, there's gonna be snow. So yeah, not super excited about that, but it is what it is. So let's see here. According to the remote, I'm 8 miles into this. I think I've been going for about 40 minutes or so. There is a little noise at the back of the board. I don't know what it is. I personally think it might be the bearings and the pulleys. As you saw from my last video, I'm not super stoked about the pulleys and the distance of the bearings. So I actually might go back to 40Ts. I do like the power of the 45 better, but I don't like the bearing spacing in the 45T pulleys. Onsra did this in the metal pulleys too. The metal pulley didn't sit right, and the plastic pulley didn't sit right. Are they just not trying the pulleys? Oh, what is this? Construction? Oh, that's fine. All right, so let's keep going. I'm probably about halfway there. So there's a detour right in the middle of the trail. This is why I love the Nebula. Good morning, how are y'all?
Good morning.
Yeah, I love being able to grab that board, drag it around, throw it down, and keep going. That's the best thing about the Nebula, is the drag handle feature of it. Yeah, it does stiffen up the board, which is great, but the board handled great before that. It does make it different. I wouldn't say it makes it any better on the stiffness, unless that's what you like. But I'd say different, not better. But the actual drag handle part of that is just amazing. So discount code in the description if you want one of the Nebulas. I really like it. I did lose one of the little rubber bumpers on it, but I don't care. So yeah, we'll keep going. All right, so remote has me at 9 miles in. A lot of this is downhill. Going down, it'll be a lot more uphill coming back, but the board says it's at full, remote says it's at full. 9 miles in, and I'm not conservative riding like I normally do on my distance tests. I'm routinely hitting the gas pretty hard, especially after stops, flooring it, and I'm probably cruising in between 15 and 20 miles an hour. All right, now let's talk about the headphones. They're doing great. I will say, so water. I really like the fact that I can still hear what's around me. So like when bikes go to pass me and they say on your left, you know, I can hear that with the headphones on. I will say that the wind noise coming across my ears, it does drown out the music way more than like earbuds or something like that would, obviously, because they're not plugged into my ear. So I still hear a lot of wind noise, but that's fine with me. As long as I can hear traffic and other people, that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, these are amazing. If you have the money and you want to listen to music, you want to still be able to hear, I definitely recommend these. I got them off of Amazon, just searched for them. It was like the $80 pair. I think they're amazing. You can hear something going on in that rear bearing. Hear it? And this is pretty much the first ride on the bearings. Thank goodness I brought an extra set of bearings. I don't think they're gonna last very long. I'm gonna have to go back to the 40T pulleys. Dang it. Come on, Onsra. Get your stuff together on your 45T pulleys. Your board's perfect now. I love it. Get your stuff together on the 45T pulleys. So I am running behind a little bit. I got 30 minutes to get the rest of that distance. So sorry everyone, but I'm gonna have to put the camera away and really dig down and move out. So I'll let you know when I get there and if I got there on time. All right, so I made it plenty of time. 15.2 mile according to the GPS, 15.2 mile according to the remote. I'm down one battery now. It's teetering between the two. I'm just cruising up hills at 22 miles an hour. So it was down 2 bars at that point in time. But I did bring the charger, so I'm going to charge it. There's a stick sticking in my board. I have no idea how long that's been there. All right, let's go in, pick things up, put things down, and then we'll head back. All right, so back on the trail, headed back home after the gym. This part of the trail and all the roots growing through it, board handles it well. So yeah, I threw it on the charger. It didn't get fully charged. I mean, I pulled the charger out of the wall and the light was still red. The remote says that the board is full, but I know it's lacking just a little bit. So we'll see how it does on the 15 miles going back home. Most of this ride is uphill, so I'll keep you posted. So I said I'd keep you updated. Headphones are still working great. I'm listening to music right now. I am 5 miles into this and I just dropped the battery bar. Like I said, almost all this is uphill, so it's going to take more battery to get back home than it did to get to the gym. But I'm not riding conservatively at all. Because I know the Onsra can make it. I mean, this board did 36 miles, so it better be able to do 15 mile uphill almost on a full charge. It better be. So I'm not riding conservatively, but let's hope we make it home. Uh-oh. Hear that? Yeah, something going on in there. Hopefully I can make it back to the house. I'm 8.7 miles, so I'm barely halfway. I still have 3 bars left on the board, but that's concerning me. I'm gonna actually have to slow it down a little bit. I don't want that to fail at 20 miles an hour. Okay, so I'm almost positive the bearings are gonna fail. It's clicking really bad right now. I don't have an extra set of pulleys. So if the bearing gets so hot that it melts inside the pulley, I'm dead in the water. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna strip both sides off. Yeah, I'm out here on the trail. Thanks, Onsra. I'm gonna strip both sides off. I'm gonna put new bearings on the inside of the race. I'm gonna leave the outer bearing out. I'm gonna stack a couple speed washers on it and use it to get home. Once I get home, those are coming off of there. So here's what I'm doing. Just leaving that outer bearing out, so it's sitting on one bearing. Then I'm gonna stack some speed washer to get the wheel away from right here on the pulley. And hopefully that fixes the problem. I don't even know if this is the problem, but it's clicking really bad, and that's what happened to the Wago before my rear wheel passed me. So I want to fix this right where I'm at. I'll probably tighten the belts just a little bit because they've gotten a little loose. Let's see if it fixes it. Well, looky good thing I stopped. I think the inner race is still in there. Look at that bearing. So I was on the right side where it went clicking. I think even the wheel bearing got hot on this. It's not too hot, but yeah, that's what lateral pressure on a bearing will do to the bearing. It just destroyed the bearing. All the balls are coming out of it. Yeah, it's gonna make a mess. I'm gonna have to throw that greasy mess into my backpack. That's not fun, but hey, at least I caught it before it really broke. Here's the outer bearing. You can see it's supposed to look like that. The outer bearing to the pulley was failing also. Okay, back on the road. Man, I'm so glad that I stopped and took a look at that. You saw the bearing. It was only a matter of time before that heated up everything. And that's what happened on the Wago, the lateral pressure on that bearing. So I knew what I'm looking at, I knew what I'm dealing with, and I called it in the last video when I put the pulleys on. Onsra messed up the spacing of the bearings on the 45T pulleys. And what's crazy is I had the metal ones for my version 1, and it was the same exact problem. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at my last video. I went into depth and detail on it. Right now, the fix to get it home, I put new bearings on the inside of the pulley. Then I left the outside pulley bearing off of it because they're spaced too wide. So I left them off. I stacked up 3 total speed washers, and then I put the wheel on top of that. And what that does, it spaces the wheel off of the pulley, so then the wheel isn't pushing backwards on the pulley whenever you turn, or if you tighten it down, whatever. That's my fix. We'll see if it gets me home where I'm gonna have to go back to the dang 40T pulleys. Okay, so I made it back to the house. According to the remote, 15.3 miles, 2 bars left. According to GPS, 15.2 miles. So I'm 0.1 mile off on the 2, which is crazy. That's really accurate. The headphone did absolutely great. I love the things for boarding. If you don't have a set, I would definitely pick a set up, Aftershocks with a Z instead of an S. That was all great. I really enjoyed riding down to the gym, working out, and then riding back. But forgive me, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant. I am so glad that I decided to take you all with me on this ride, because I called that in the video that I put the 45T plastic pulley on here. I knew that they were gonna fail because of the design. Now don't get me wrong, the 45T Kegels, the 40T ABECs, the 40T Kegels, they all work just fine. The 45T ABECs, they're a problem with the bearing spacing. I've reached out to Onsra a couple times. I've said that they're a problem, and the answer that I got back from Fabian was, well, nobody else has had a problem with them. Well, Fabian, I had a problem with them. The bearing failed at 30 miles. Now, maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe it is me. So do me a favor, Watch the video. I will put a link to it at the end of this video. Watch the video where I installed these. So I tightened the nut all the way down and it compressed the bearings. I knew that it was going to do that. It actually made the wheel hard to turn. So I backed out the lock nut to where it was easy to turn, where I didn't feel that there was a lateral pressure on the bearings. But when you're carving back and forth, there's lateral pressure on the bearings. They stick out too far. Just watch the video. I go through it all in the video. Onsra, fix your pulleys. They are way too expensive a pulley to be dealing with this. I just lost 4 bearings in 30 miles. So, I mean, my fix got it back to the house. If you take that outer bearing out, you space it out a couple with, I did 3 speed washer. You could do 3 or 4, whatever you want, but I did 3. And then I put the wheel on, then a speed washer, and then the nut. So that keeps the wheel from pushing the pulley into the hub or into the trucks. I can't explain it any more than that. Just watch the previous video. I show where the lip is and where the bearings sit over top of. But Onsra, fix your 45T pulley. I love the way that board feels with 45T pulley. Now I am losing weight, which will definitely help the 40Ts. I loved the 45s. I wanted to keep them on here, but I can't keep them on here, not with the riding that I do. I don't want to be stranded 20 miles away from my house and have to catch a Uber or call a friend or whatever I have to do to get home. I don't want to do that. So these are coming back off. Unfortunately, the 40s are going back on. Swap everything out. I won't bore you with all that. You've seen it enough. All right, well, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming along with my journey. Thanks for listening to my rant. Tell me in the comments of this video if I'm doing something wrong when I installed in the previous video, and the link's gonna pop up right around now. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Take care. Thanks for liking, subscribing. Thanks for coming along with me on this ride. Catch you on the next one. So I wanted to provide a very quick update. It's been approximately 2 or 3 hours since I was recording on the back of my truck. I came inside, I cooled down a little bit. I know I was a little heated. I cooled down a little bit, and I reached out to Fabian and said, hey, there is a problem with these, and now instead of just saying that they're probably going to be a problem, I had a problem in 30 miles. Bearing blew out of it. I explained the whole situation. I let him know that I'm going to be dropping the video. It doesn't matter, I'm going to be dropping the video. About 30 minutes later, he reached back out to me and he said, yep, we know that I have a problem now. I don't know why now. I mean, I've reached out to him a couple times about it, but somebody else said they don't have a problem, so now I have a problem. He said that it has been corrected. Now, I really like the 45T pulley on that board, so I'm going to get another set. When I first started this channel, I said that I'm going to be open and honest. So part of being honest is saying that my true feelings are anybody that have the older one, since they've fixed them, you're going to have problems. That's me being honest. Now, being open, I'm still going to drop that video. You're watching it. So yeah, I don't care. Onsra, my favorite board that I own. I love that board, but that was a problem. Hopefully it's fixed. And once I get the new ones in, I will do yet another update on the 45T pulleys. I've had, what, 4 Onsra now, and I still can't get 45T pulley with the 105 cloud wheel. A little disappointing. I'll do an update video. I'll let y'all know. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me this long, and we'll see you on the next one. 40Ts are going back on it for now.